Right, we're back. We're back in. Hopefully going to be a quick one this time, because all we've got to do is sort the wiring out. We're going to try and get the headlight up and running. Just got to deal with these, which one goes where, and work out which one supplies it. And we're just going to put a new little plug on there, get all that up and running. Start with that, tidy all the wiring up, cable tie it all up onto the handlebars, sort all this out, sort all this out, and then check it all works, and that's the wiring done. I think we'll put the tank back on as well. I don't know. We get carried away when we get in there, so let's just work on what we're working with. So let's start with the headlight. First job, put the battery back in. I'm going to chuck the battery back in, so I'll give you a quick one. With it being an old bike, we've quite nicely, the live cable is black and the earth cable is also black. So I've worked it, you've got to work it out. So the one that goes down to the starter solenoid, which is there, is the live. So just make sure you get them in the right way. Live, neutral. So we're going to put all this, get all this wiring loom back up now, so we get our wires in the right place. Chuck the battery in and see what power we've got. And that can slot down in there. There we go. And just puts it sort of at the right height. So let's wrap that round now first. That's our live. And chuck it in there. The rest of our wiring loom needs to come up, and then that's our negative and neutral, and both them in there. And that is the other live cable there, that supplies everything else. So that one supplies the starter solenoid, that supplies all the wiring loom with power. So make sure you get them both. Your bikes will all be different, but that's what we're doing. Right. Let's go driveway off because it won't be that. Right, so that's our wiring up. We'll just hook the rear lamp up now. Move some bits out of the way. Put that in there, that'll give us that to test off. So we'll plug that in because we know it works. Ignition on, lights on. Have we got the ignition on? This is why you have to hook something up because the ignition's a little bit fiddly. Seeing that I've got all sorts of other things unplugged. So, what have we got unplugged? Right, well, after doing a bit of tracing, I found that the wire on the back of the ignition switch doesn't want to be part of the ignition switch anymore. It looks like somebody at some point has had a right go at soldering all that back together, which is a right mess. So that's another thing for the parts list. Let's go and try and find a ignition switch for one of these. Oh, I love messing about with these things. I keep trying to tell myself that. This was a good idea. Messing about with this bike was a good idea. Right. I'll go and deal with this. Okay, so finding a ignition switch for this bike is near on impossible. So I have stripped it down and resoldered the joint back on. All we've got to do now see if it works in the bike. So I'm going to put it back on, put the brake light back up there, turn the key, and hope for the best. Fingers crossed. Plug the light in, and have we fixed it, or have I just wasted an hour of my day? That in, lights are off, key on, key on, we're on, horn, that's pointless, starter works, we are on. So let's get up the front now and work out all the headlight wiring. Right, I'm going to put you guys up here. Can you turn that, I reckon? Ooh. Nobody move. It's a bit wobbly. Right, so we need to work this wiring out first. So let's do that. Let's start with that. And I've got that right. So I'm going to get the power probe out. This goes on the battery. I'm going to put that on the battery. It should give us some power. I'm summoned by my youngest in the house. Right, it gives me a bit of power, so this allows me to put power to things and then put earth to things, so that will tell me what's going on. So let's have a look. So black and yellow's earth, pretty self-explanatory. I think it was always going to be. Right, so ignition on, lights on, low beam. So now what we need to do is find out which wire goes to the low beam. So we've got nothing down, black and red. I've got low beam, I've got a live down, red and yellow. So we'll go to that one, we'll go to the red and black, and then put the lights on. There we go, that's my high beam. Right, so they're my plugs, earth, low beam, high beam. Perfect, and then we can work out from here what's on here. So we'll put an earth to this, earth to that, and then we've got, I think it's labelled this as low beam, so yellow, I think it's low beam, so I can put a live to that, which puts that light on, and then a live to that one. That one's definitely brighter. So that is my low beam, that's my high beam. So what we're going to do now is get the plugs and pins out and start pinning it all out. Putting a new plug on. Got this little plug kit here, so we're going to do a little 3-pin plug. Plug earth, low beam, high beam. So we'll get some pins out, some male, female pins, like that, and then we'll get a little bit of waterproofing. Six of them out. Right, and now I'll do the boring bit and cut all the wires and put it all on. So back to the time lapse. Here's what we've done. A little waterproof cover, and then a new pin on each end. Done the same for that one, we'll just plug that one in. So we've got pin 1, pin 2, pin 3, so earth, low beam, high beam. So we're going to wire this plug in now. We'll wire this plug in now and then plug it all in and see what happens. Three. So they're clipped in, and then there's a big red. Let me see if I can. We're going to see, but inside there is a little red locking tab, so I'm going to just push on that to lock them all in. Like that. And then I can plug that on there. It plugs into there. Test it. So on. Lights off, lights on, headlight, main beam, flashes. All working. Main beam, low beam, everything is working. Job done. Now, we'll tidy all this wiring up now. Tidy the wiring up, get it all cable tied up, and that'll be job done. Right, I've just remembered that these are the wires for the rear stop lamp switch, which are in the right state. So we're going to do another plug, a little 2-pin plug. We're going to do a nice little plug that's going to live up in there, and then that is all that sorted. So that'll be all the wiring, and then we can start cable tying it all up and tidying it all up and making it look as it should do. In, it's wired up. Now to test it, I have to adjust that little spring clip as well. So, ignition on. Ooh, where are we? Foot on the brake. On, off, on, off. Perfect. We have a working brake light. That's the foot brake, the back brake, front brake. Perfect, right. Now just tidy up the loom. that's going to do for this one. Just finished all the wiring off. Everything's tidied up. I'm going to leave the fuse box. It's going to live on top of the battery there, so we can get to it if we need to. I've made this little cover. I don't know whether that's going to stay, but it does cover everything up currently. I'm going to make another one. I've sort of made another one. Here I just need to finish off for the other side. It should just hide that sort of hole there. I don't know whether that's going to stay, but for now that's what's going to happen. Like I say, we finished the wiring off, so I'm going to try and knock through the rest of them in small short videos. So I'm going to get the fuel tank plumbed up and put back on, get the back wheel on, make sure everything's as it should be, new brake fluid, and just go through it, and then exhaust back on, get it on the floor and get it running, so we're not far off. So again, thanks for joining me on this one, and I'll see you on the next one.